Hey guys, Stealth here. In this replay I'm looking at FuturePro. He sent in this replay telling me that it was a game of only very experienced players. Now considering that pretty much all of them except for Austrian Oak have ranks, that means that they have played ranked games, and you only engage in ranked games if you definitely have a lot of experience in the game. Now we're going to be following FuturePro in this game. He's using a general Eurocore deck. And he says that it is a very interesting game. He only engages his team against more skilled opponents or skilled opponents of the same skill level. So it is a very interesting game. It looks like a conquest map, seeing that they have to go through 500 points. His team is Barry and Oak, and of course himself FuturePro, and I suppose that the other guys are on TeamSpeak as well. He says both sides are very experienced and know how to play the game to the max, so I'm very eager to see and possibly pick up some things from this guy. Now let's pick it up a little. Looks like they have a tactical gameplay, because I don't see a lot of vehicles here. Let's see, a couple of Leos being brought in, Leopard 2s, Mistral launchers, Vabs, infantry. Okay, not a tactical game, they were just stirring up their stuff. Let's see. Abrams being brought in by his allies. Radar guided AA. Flak Panzer Gepard A2. That's the one with the stingers on it. A lot of infantry and Vabs. Okay, let's see what he does. Immediately they spawn air superiority. Phantoms are brought in. Rafales being brought in. A large chopper rush on the left flank by Barry. And, oh yeah, right. He did mention this in his description when he sent in the replay. He said the opponents are known for their cheesy tactics in the form of spams of artillery like the Smirch. And this is exactly what's happening. Also, they do some chopper rushes, and they can play a normal game when people ask for it. Okay. Well, let's see what they do. They got a large column coming up there. By the looks of it, this is mostly transports. Some helicopters. Well, these guys don't stand a chance against this superiority from Dylan. This column be decimated, but so far, Red 4 is leading by points because they captured more zones. But I think that the setup that Blue 4 has over here might change that very soon. Let's see where they have their command vehicles. So far, they don't have any command vehicles, interestingly. It might have been destroyed. So he deployed Rima here. This is probably a Smirch. Vab got killed off by BTRs and Spetsnaz. So far, Red 4 is definitely leading by points. They got a 46 point advantage already. So Blue 4 is definitely going to have to bring in some more CVs and be quick about it. Now they're starting to capture Alpha, and if they do that, they're probably at the same level again. And then it becomes the question who can capture Golf or Foxtrot. Whereas Foxtrot is the more important zone, which has 2 points of income versus 1 in Golf. His original Leos are still alive. Only this Leopard has fired 1 round. A couple of Rimas got destroyed here. But again, it's Conquest, so it doesn't really affect the game as much as it would with Destruction. It only matters for your zone control. Another bomber comes in. Or if you want to call this a bomber, I mean it fires rocket pods. I suppose you could call it a ground attack aircraft. Got taken out. Some of the Mistrals, these Mistral launchers probably took it out in combination with the Flak Panzer. No, actually Flak Panzer is not active. Must have been this Mistral then. I think that this setup is a bit one-sided. I'm not sure if he was too busy micromanaging this stuff, but I think that a setup over a larger area in this tree line might have been better. But as always, it's easy for me to say. after the game. Now, I don't think that the Rima are going to win this one against the Saparis, but they're getting quite a lot of support from LVTP 7A1, so grenade launchers. Leopard 2's coming in to engage them at close range. Took down a transport. Rimas are engaging the Sapari. And yeah, now they're going to win this one. It seems that their middle road here is pretty weak. I'm not sure if they're not covering this zone intentionally so that if a push comes they can bomb the shit out of it. Or if this is a different plan. But at least they're not losing points anymore, they're equal. Or at least income-wise. Martyr 2 comes in. So the Panzer Grenadiers have arrived to deliver the final blow against the Saparis. And it seems like the enemy dropped napalm with the Smirch probably on top of their own infantry units, just to get these Rimas out of here. Panzer Grenadiers took out a vehicle, while the Martyrs are engaging these Saparis, and the Saparis are trying to do some damage, but the Martyrs, with their extremely heavy frontal armor, are not very impressed by the napalm. One Martyr eats an ATGM, it gets taken out. A couple of VABs arrived to deliver some more ATGM infantry here. Pretty risky to deliver those right now in the middle of a large napalm cloud here. And now they're leading by 2 points. Of course, this area is for both sides relatively easy to take. Blue 4 on this side can deploy vehicles in here, command vehicles. Red 4 could deploy a command vehicle back here, though there's not a lot of cover, so command infantry would be the ideal option. This sector is usually where most of the action takes place. And that means that for now, a command vehicle in here is very, very risky for both sides. The only thing you could say is that command infantry in there would be an option. And maybe command infantry either back there or in that forest, but both positions are very, very risky for Blue 4. Red 4 is doing a push again. T-72As are coming across the bridge. And there's still Leopard 2 vehicles here, Leopard 2 tanks. But they're getting submerged, it looks like. And they're taking a lot of damage from those cluster bombs, which also panics the tanks, reducing their effectiveness. ATGM infantry, 2 groups of Milan F3. And considering that this was the last one, I think that he deployed all of his Milan F3s, seeing that these guys are prototype and you can only get 6 of them in a deck. Did a heavy damage roll on the T-72. And now he's floating across some infantry, probably Rimas, trying to take this forest. Scores are now tied, 60-60, but Blue 4 has more income. And it seems that the only actions going on is in Gulf and a little bit in Foxtrot, but nobody's crossing these bridges from either side. Another napalm run comes in. But this time it wasn't that bad. As expected, Rima came out of those VABs and they're going to town on these Motostrelkis, trying to clear out this forest. But of course the supply lines for Blue 4 over here are quite a bit longer than those are for Red 4. And that means that Blue 4 will have to plan far ahead versus Red 4 who can just bring in stuff right from Juliet. A new Flak Panzer Gepard comes in. And he also has some mortars over here now, which are being resupplied by a CH-53G, who's also repairing one of the Leopards. The other one could also use repairs, but he's outside the repair circle. Meanwhile, Oak is pushing onto this area using Marines, trying to get these LSTRs dislodged. But the LSTR kill off a LVTP-7A1 using their Vampire. And that is going to cost them quite a bit of anti-infantry capability. Keep in mind this game is recorded pre-DLC 3, so in the DLC number 3 a lot of these zones have changed, and there's a large naval zone here. So this has changed in DLC 3, but those changes haven't been progressed yet. So we're still looking at the, well, I suppose you could say the old or the DLC 2 version of the map. A lot of fast movers on the card. So a lot of air superiority over here. A couple of Phantoms. Phantom 2 napalm bombers are coming in to finally clear out these LSTRs. And they're also pushing across with Humvees. I'm not sure there's anything in those Humvees though. I think they're just trying to draw fire. You can see just how much napalm those Phantom 2s can drop onto enemy targets. Here comes another Smirch run. I believe it is a Smirch. Sorry, it's a Buratino, of course, not a Smirch. But they do have a Smirch back there and another one over there. Scores are tied again because Red 4 has also deployed a command vehicle into this zone. And that means that nobody is taking the lead. That is until Red 4 captured Gulf. So where did they hide their CV? Yep, command infantry over here, as expected. It's pretty much the only safe position. And their other command unit is another command infantry, also far behind the friendly lines. Although the friendly lines are shifting quite a bit right here. We got Barry over here pushing onto these Formosas, but getting killed off by a Strop. But they are spotting for their own light riflemen. And in the meanwhile, these guys, these Marines over here, are having a very, very hard time trying to stay alive in the napalm. Another small got killed over there. And FuturePro's Panzer Grenadiers got killed off mostly by an artillery strike, it seems. Sneaky Chaparral over here. It might try to get a shot at that Mi-2RO. Another Phantom comes in. The fact that he's not taking fire is interesting, because it means that their AA in this region has been pretty much depleted. And that opens up the availability for Blue Force bombing runs onto this area. Interesting thing here is that other than this VBL Mistral, they don't have a lot of recon. Now, of course, it's very hard to keep recon over here because flying recon is usually going to get taken down. Infantry recon in the buildings where the Panzer Grenadiers are over here is not safe. And having recon in here is not safe either, so reconning this area is very difficult. Another Leopard comes in, one of them got destroyed. And I think, yeah, the CH-53 is being sent back to the FOB to resupply. Good position for these ATGM Milans, by the way. With this position here, it's very easy for them to get a shot at the enemy, while still being far enough away from the enemy to not get hit that often. But it seems like Red 4 has plans right now. They're putting up a smoke screen. Now, let's see if they're actually trying to push across or if this is just a diversion. The mortars are being countered, and they got a good hit on that Vasilak. This is probably the VPMs. Yep. Vasilak is stunned but not dead. And it seems like some Scrajets are coming in. They are amphibious, so they could push across. T-72Bs cannot, BMPs cannot. OT-64A can, but it doesn't have any infantry aboard. So it seems like they are coming across with Scrajets, and my guess would be that there's Spetsnaz in there. But so far, they can only see this group of Scrajets and not much else. Red 4, due to their CV or their command infantry in here, is still leading by points. Another Buratino run on these Marines. That must have taken up quite a bit of supplies already. Those Buratinos are not cheap to operate. Another napalm run over here, and that is probably going to hit their command infantry. And they moved it so that Blue 4 now has 1 point in the lead again. And you can see it's a pretty close game. These teams are definitely evenly matched. And that's the advantage of having a solid team together. You know that there is no one going to quit, you know that, or you know at least what kind of players your allies are, if and whether you can depend on them. So this makes it sometimes a lot more interesting to play a wargame, especially if you've played a couple of 10v10s, where 9 times out of 10 you got at least one player who's doing only support while not being an asset to the team. Another player is just quitting after 2 minutes, and then half the team starts to do stupid stuff. If you do one of these games with a solid team afterwards, it's a breath of fresh air. Now, let's see. This push has arrived, but we still cannot really see what's in there. It's Sapori, VDV, and Spetsnaz. So, with their Scrajets, they have a complete setup. They got anti-tank capability, anti-infantry, and anti-air. Although, anti-air is a bit shaky. And these ATGMs are engaging the Scrajets, so those get taken down. And by not having any command infantry in this zone, Red 4 is now losing 1 point. You can see that Blue 4 slowly catching up to Red 4's score. And over here we got Dylan with Austrian Oak trying to push through this infantry, trying to secure this position so that Red 4 cannot redeploy a command vehicle in there. Or a command unit, I should say. Could be either a vehicle or a command infantry. Some very, very brave Fabs are coming in. I don't know what... yeah, it's Rimas. But he's got to know by now that there is Spetsnaz in there. Ah, that's the trick. That should put those Spetsnaz ablaze very easily. I'm just not sure though whether he coordinated that with FuturePro, because these Rimas almost walked right into that fire. So he probably did not know that this was going to happen. M1 Abrams is reversing because it took some damage, and I think that the Mi-28, if it can keep sight on it, it'll take it down. Still missed. I'm not sure why this thing is so inaccurate. 80% accuracy. Another miss. Mi-28 is just unlucky this time. Finally scored a hit, and it does not seem to be pursuing the Abrams. Which is a pretty safe choice, since that Chaparral might take that Mi-28 down. Blue 4's in the lead. They got a little bit more points now. And Red 4 is again pushing onto this area. If they can get a foothold in here, they can make life for Blue 4 over here a lot more difficult. And this is as far as Blue 4 can see what's in here, but I think that there's more. Not that much more though. They got a bit of Mostrelki here. And it seems like Han over here has mostly amphibious units, so he might be using a naval battle group. No, not a marine battle group though. Panzer Grenadiers have taken hold of these buildings, but there's something else in here. We can see it firing, we just for some reason cannot see what it is, which is weird. Normally you can at least see what the hell is firing at you. What is that? Mostrelki, why can't they not be spotted? That's strange. Over here on the left, the Mi-28 is still trying to venture and maybe get a kill on that Abrams, but someone else did it. And he's probably going to pay for that because the Chaparral is returning fire, taking down the Mi-28. Another dangerous chopper gets taken down there. And you can see just how heavily contested this area is. There's pretty much nothing left, only rubble. This area has been napalmed at least 2 or 3 times. It's been RD'd, it's been napalmed again. And still it's being heavily fought over, because if you control this area with some infantry, you have a reasonable position. And I'm saying reasonable because, as you see, it can be smirched, or it can be buratinoed, it can be napalmed. You can get amphibious landings on it. It is a decent position to have, but it's not extremely safe. Over here, Red 4 has reclaimed some of their terrain. Those M1 Abrams were all the way over there. And now they've been pushed back a little again. I think that we got Austrian over here is using a marine stack. Considering the amount of F4 Phantoms which are flying over, both the napalm and the air superiority version, this is probably a marine stack. And you can see just how good those napalm planes are at crowd control here. Because this is just an denial of effect, or an area denial weapon. No vehicles or infantry are allowed into this region. CEVs are coming up. Interesting. You don't see those that often. Engaging the infantry. Might have taken it down. While these marines are desperately trying to make it towards cover. And engaging the motor chutes in here on the way there. Bombing run comes in. And it wiped out the marines. I think that was a bit of a fail by FuturePro, but he might have been going for that building instead. Not sure why he friendly fired onto his own troops there. Command infantry is being walked into this zone. So maybe they're going to try to hide it in here and neutralize that zone for them. It seems that Red 4 has also brought in a command unit again. It's countering this Humvee CP. So probably another command infantry unit. Maybe from that Star 266. Very, very intense game this, definitely. And unlike some of the earlier replays I've put up on my channel, there is not any clear winner just yet. Because the one moment Red 4 is leading, the other moment Blue 4 is leading. The battlefield keeps going back and forth into Golf and into Foxtrot, although Blue 4 seems to have a bit more control over Foxtrot lately. So definitely good teams and good players on both sides. Now I think that this was an educated guess. Artillery struck a little short of that command infantry. But that's pretty much the only position where the command infantry could be. Over there or in this tree line. So RDing this position is a pretty safe guess. Marines here are pretty much completely surrounded. And they are definitely fighting themselves out of there. These guys are swapping buildings. Delta Force is going to kill these guys. Or at least you'd think so. That is, until Delta Force left the building. Which instantly killed 8 of them due to a... I think it was a tank that just fired over here. Yep, T-70. Sorry, T-72 I should say. Red 4 is again leading, because this command infantry is on the move. They have taken some fire from the mortars. And Red 4 is still trying to kill them, probably with a lot of mortar fire. If they were to fire the Buratino at this position, they would kill that command infantry. And this Leopard 2A4 is either not in cover completely, or it's been spotted by something on the side of the river. One command infantry unit survived. Stunned and all. And it seems that Blue 4 now has more or less control over these buildings, but they've lost a hell of a lot of units. And not only Blue 4, of course, Red 4 as well. This area is definitely a meat grinder with all the infantry that died here. This might be some sort of force recon that he's doing here, the Panther. He's going after some transports, and a Vasilak is again engaging the command infantry. Or actually, going for the Panzer Grenadiers, not the command infantry this time. Scores are again tied. No one's getting any points right now. 178 versus 133, so Blue 4 has the advantage. And I'm not sure why Red 4 just didn't smirch this area, because of course Blue 4 could have used command infantry, but there is a reasonably safe bet that this is an area where you would put a command vehicle. And seeing as Red 4 has those smirches available, why not use them? Another bombing run comes in. 2 Tornado 1DS, or IDS, sorry. No infantry kills, it seems. And you can see that again, a clear lack of AA over here means that the F4 Phantom 2 can drop the bombs over here, but there is some AA in there and it's long range. I'm guessing it's either, yeah, it's bugs. I was gonna say bugs or the Pongays, but they are bugs. This area is again being lightly smoked, but in a really random pattern, it seems. It's like these things are firing off a very, very wide pattern. Vasilaks are known for their accuracy. So what exactly are they doing here? Very, very large column of enemy units comes in. Some AA units, some BMPs. And they are all going across this bridge right now. This makes it very, very difficult for them to see what the hell is coming in. But they can do a bombing run on it. That's probably going to cost them quite a bit of vehicles. You can see that a lot of stuff got destroyed over here. This looks like a Tunguska. There was a Beryuza right behind it. Panzer Grenadiers are pushing up to a more advantageous position. And I'm actually waiting for, yeah, there they are, the F4 Phantoms to start napalming this area so that the bridge is a no-go. Smarter 1 is probably not going to survive for very long, unless it can get through the armor of the T-72A very quickly. But not at this angle. It's taking fire, but it killed the T-72. Although the BMPT is causing all sorts of trouble. On the left, Blue 4 is pushing up slightly, but they're getting napalmed as well. And they have a surprising lack of resupplies over here, so it's just like they're bringing in a lot more units, but not so much supplies. Because they know that the units aren't going to survive that long. And this is clearly a difference from Conquest, or from Destruction, where you do want your troops to survive. In Conquest like this, it doesn't really matter that much. Of course, it's nice if they survive, especially if they've gained some ranks. But otherwise, you don't really need them to survive. You just need them to capture an area quickly, so you can bring in reinforcements, get a command vehicle in there and capture the zone. Or at least that's the way I'm looking at it. BPT got taken out by Panzer Grenadiers, and that seems to be the majority of their push. All of those vehicles got wiped out by napalm and the bombing run from the tornadoes. So another Red 4 attack has been foiled. This would definitely be another interesting target for a napalm run. 2 Thunderbolts are doing an air patrol here. They're not taking fire, so maybe those books are out of ammo. Navy SEALs over here engaging the infantry and possibly the BTR with their grenade launchers. But the rate at which these VDVs are dying, I say that that's the grenade launcher if the SEAL is going to work. There's a lot of close quarter battle going on here. He's putting down a marker. That's Barry. Asking for help. And here's the command infantry. They've finally found it. But now, can they kill it? Tornado comes in. And wipes out the command infantry. Blue 4 is leading again. Some more infantry got taken out here by the motor shoots and the VDV, combining their fire. And if Blue 4 doesn't pull some sort of trick out of their hat soon, they're going to lose this area again. Another Buratino run on this area. Over here it's surprisingly quiet. That is on this flank. But over here, Blue 4, in the form of Barry, is pushing in. They've neutralized this command zone. Or at least for the moment taken control of it. Or sorry, neutralized control of Red 4. And that gives them an instant +3 versus their +2 earlier. But the choppers are getting taken down, and it is not a long-lived advantage. Because these Tungushkas over here are wiping out every helicopter there is. Definitely a good initiative there, but unfortunately they couldn't pull it off. And it seems that FuturePro was trying to provide supporting fire with Rafales and Tornadoes, but since there's no more visual on the targets there, he's pulling them out. Now it seems like Red 4 doesn't have that much initiative anymore. Blue 4 is definitely leading by now by over 100 points. And over here we got Austrian Oak and Barry trying to hold this area, but not easy under constant artillery bombardment and the effects of the Buratino every now and then. And Red 4 is again pushing some units in here. SPW-70s, Strobe 2s, more SPW-70s, APCs. Some BTRs are coming in, probably more Motostrelki. Or Motorschützen, I should say. And these Mi-25 S-24 are not making life easy for the Marines here either. So what they lack over here is AA, and that is starting to cost them. But then again, it's not easy to get AA in here. Chaparral is operating and trying to get the Mi-25s. UAZ's been spotted. Hopefully they can take advantage of that spot and take it down. Abrams is pushing out far, probably hoping to get a kill on that command vehicle. But it took a bad hit from that Mi-25. I think he's going to die in this forest. LSTR-40s over here are trying to get a foothold in this building again. And this is bad news. Having 17 Spetsnaz over here is not something you want to see happen. So what exactly is Red 4 doing right now? Seems like they're just bringing in forces here, trying not to get Blue 4 to push up too far. But otherwise I don't see a push like they were doing earlier happening again. And this fob has been completely drained, probably by the Smirch and the resupplies of the Buratino. It seems that, yeah, here's one Buratino, here's another one. These things do eat supplies. You can see that that fob's empty, and either the other fob got destroyed, or they didn't bring any. And my bet is that they didn't bring any. Yet another firing from that Buratino, but the Buratino was almost out of ammo. And that makes it so that the area affected is a lot less heavily napalmed than normally would be the case. Tornado is doing a bombing run. They are taking some fire, but not that much. Both making it out alive. And now Blue 4 has yet another zone, because they managed to wipe out the command infantry in there. So this is a +3, and this is pretty much decided at this point. It is possible for Red 4 to make a comeback, but it'll not be easy. Now He could try to push up with the Leopard 2A4 a little bit, try and get a kill on that Tunguska, so that their bombers can operate even more freely. We got some Urals coming in. What are they doing? Are they just donating these Ural trucks? Yeah, they're empty. They might be trying to draw fire. Or they're just gifting them, I'm not sure. But they're all empty anyway. The only reason why he's pushing up with these things I could consider is that he's trying to do a, I suppose you could call it recon, by not getting these things fired at, but by getting them captured. But of course, you can be pretty sure that there will be infantry over here, or something in this forest trying to block off this bridge. Now, they only have... oh, never mind, they still got the +3. I thought I saw a +1 there for a minute. Thunderbolts are operating very, very freely again. And they're just wiping out everything that they can spot. And one of the USSR players surrenders. And this is a BRG, so I'm thinking that's a brigade general. And now Red 4 is just saying, yeah, okay, we've had it. And sorry, if I said brigade general, I meant brigadier general. But I'm not entirely sure of that title. I don't play ranked games myself, so I'm not entirely sure of all the abbreviations. Now the CV's being brought in, possibly to try and neutralize this zone. But at this point, there's just no way I can see Red 4 turning this thing around. And even if they do manage to neutralize this zone with the CV, which they just did, it doesn't matter that much. Because Red 4 is not going to neutralize all of the other areas here, or get enough command points to go from 133 to 500 in under 4 minutes. There's just no way. So probably just cleaning up now, and what I'm interested in seeing is the scores of both parties. Whoa, helicopter push. Definitely an Mi-24 or Mi-25 S-24 rush. They flew right overhead of the command infantry, and they took it down, capturing that zone again for Red 4. So Harris is still alive and kicking and trying to do as much damage as possible. All sorts of helicopters are being scrambled here by Barry. And they might try to get this command vehicle. Yeah, there goes another command vehicle. Red 4 is leading again. So as cheesy as this push might have been, it was definitely effective because it neutralized 2 command zones. And of course, this is where the party ends and they'll get taken down. But that was a nice final push there. And it will take Blue 4 at least a little while to get a new command vehicle in here if they're going to bother with it. Yeah, Command Abrams is being brought in. And they neutralized Juliet, so that gives them another +2. They captured Echo back again. And that's the end of the game. So, Future killed 5,000 points, which is surprisingly much. I thought that Austrian and Barry over on the left flanks were doing a lot more. But apparently, FuturePro did a lot of killing, possibly with those bombers. So all of you guys, well played. Especially also to Red 4, because even though they lost quite a lot of units, they definitely put up one hell of a fight. I really enjoyed watching this game. FuturePro, thanks for sending it in. Thanks for letting me show this game. It's not often that you see a game where no one leaves early and the Red 4 guys leaving at the end of the match. I don't call that leaving early. So thank you for sending it. Guys, if you're watching this, let me know what you think of this replay. What could they have done better or differently? Although for guys who are as experienced at Wargame as this, I don't think it's very easy to give them any pointers. I, for example, cannot come up with anything right now. If you want me to have a look at your Wargame Red Dragon replay, send it in through my website. Link to it is in the description below. If you liked watching this video, please hit like and also share it with your friends, because I'm still trying to grow my channel as fast as possible and I can definitely use your help with that. And for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you next video.